yelling Roma Victor. As his powers assault, General Maximus Decimus Meridius, Russell Crowe, drives his Roman armies to triumph against Germanic savages in the year 180 AD, finishing a drawn-out war and procuring the regard of old sovereign Marcus Aurelius, Richard Harris. The sovereign's child Commodus, Joaquin Phoenix, and little girl Lucilla, Connie Nielsen, have been brought to join the mission in light of the fact that Marcus Aurelius is going to name his replacement. Commodus, certain he'll be picked, is cordial to Maximus, referring to him as sibling. Lucilla and Maximus clearly had a heartfelt contribution previously. Commodus is worried that it will inconvenience her to see him in the future. Lucilla has since hitched, had a child, and been bereaved. Marcus tells Lucilla he requested that she come since her sibling, who's exceptionally enamored with her, will before long need her like never before. Marcus selects the ethically upstanding Maximus as his replacement, with the comprehension that Maximus will ultimately re-establish the Roman Republic by returning capacity to the Senate. Maximus, yearning to return home to his significant other and child, attempts to decline the honor, yet Marcus Aurelius demands that not needing the work makes Maximus the best individual for it. Toward the finish of a tweaking interview in which Commodus blames his dad for not perceiving his ethics and never cherishing him, Commodus admits that all he at any point needed was his dad's adoration and endorsement, and afterward he covers him. Announcing himself sovereign, Commodus asks Maximus for his dependability, which Maximus, understanding Commodus' association and Marcus Aurelius' passing, declines. Commodus orders Maximus captured and executed and dispatches Praetorian watchmen to kill Maximus' better half, Giannina Facio, and youthful child, Giorgio Cantarini. Maximus barely gets away from his execution and races home just to find his family's roasted and killed bodies and the burning hot remnants of his estate. In the wake of covering his significant other and child, a lamenting Maximus capitulates to depletion and falls on their graves. Slave dealers track down Maximus and take him to Zucabar, a rough region in North Africa, where he is bought by Proximo, Oliver Reed, the top of a fighter school. Upset and skeptical over the passing of his family and selling out by his realm, Maximus at first won't battle, yet as he safeguards himself in the field his impressive battle abilities lead to an ascent in prominence with the crowd. As he trains and battles further, Maximus gets to know Hagen, Ralph Moeller, a Germanic brute, and Juba, Jimon Hunsu, a Numidian tracker. Juba turns into a dear companion and compatriot of the lamenting Maximus, and the two talk regularly of life following death and Maximus' inevitable reunification with his loved ones. In Rome, Commodus resumes the gladiatorial games to honor his dad's passing, pronouncing 150 days of festivity in a bid to win the warm gestures of the Roman people. Proximo's organization of combatants is employed to take part. Proximo lets Maximus know that his capacities as a contender won't be sufficient in Rome. He really wants to win the expressions of warmth of the crowd. Maximus at first could do without put on a big show, however Proximo makes sense of that it could save his life, uncovering that he personally used to be a fighter, and in the wake of acquiring fame was liberated by the ruler Marcus Aurelius. He shows Maximus the wooden sword he got at that point. Maximus is wary at first. You knew Marcus Aurelius? However, at that point understands this methodology could get him sufficiently close to Commodus to seek his retribution. In a diversion of the Clash of Zama, erroneously named the Skirmish of Carthage, at the Colosseum, Maximus drives Proximo's fighters to definitive triumph against an all the more impressive power, likely stirring up a lot of awe for the group. Commodus plummets into the field to meet the victors and is dazed to find that the head of Proximo's warriors is Maximus. The head, incapable to kill Maximus due to the group's thundering endorsement for him, offers the go-ahead sign permitting Maximus to live and mopes out of the field. As the games proceed, Commodus sets Maximus in opposition to Tigris of Gaul, Svenoli Thorson, Rome's just undefeated warrior, in a field encompassed by binded tigers with overseers educated to target Maximus. Following an extreme fight, Maximus barely overcomes Tigris and anticipates Commodus' choice to kill or extra Tigris. However, Commodus votes in favor of death. Thumb down, Maximus saves Tigris, purposely offending the ruler and accumulating the crowd's endorsement. With his harsh adversary presently known as Maximus the Lenient, Commodus turns out to be more disappointed at his failure to kill Maximus or stop his climbing notoriety while Commodus' own prevalence contracts. Following the battle, Maximus meets his previous worker Cicero, Tommy Flanagan, who uncovers that Maximus' military remaining parts faithful to him. They are set up camp at the port of Ostia. Lucilla, progressively unfortunate of her siblings' insecurity and depraved wants, shapes a plot with Maximus and Representative Gracchus, Derek Jacobi, to rejoin Maximus with his military and defeat Commodus. Commodus, nonetheless, gains of his sister's double-crossing from her young child Lucius, Spencer Treat Clark, and powers her to uncover the plot by compromising the kid. Praetorian watches promptly storm Proximo's combatant military enclosure, engaging the fighters while Maximus get away. Hagen and Proximo are killed in the attack while Juba and the survivors are detained. Maximus breaks to the city walls just to be trapped by a partner of Praetorian gatekeepers who use Cicero as snare, killing him when Maximus moves into the open. Presuming that legends brought into the world in the Colosseum should pass on there, Commodus by and by provokes Maximus to a duel before a thundering crowd. Recognizing that Maximus' expertise surpasses his own, Commodus intentionally cuts Maximus with a stiletto, penetrating his lung, and has the injury disguised underneath the warrior's protective layer. In the field, the two trade blows before Maximus tears the sword from Commodus' hands. Commodus demands a sword from his gatekeepers, however they will not loan him their weapons. Maximus drops his own sword, yet Commodus pulls a secret stiletto and recharges his assault. Maximus then, at that point, beats Commodus into accommodation and kills him with his own stiletto. As Commodus implodes in the now quiet Colosseum, a withering Maximus sees his significant other and child in eternity. He goes after them, yet is pulled back to reality by the Praetorian Regent Quintus, Thomas Arana, who requests directions. Maximus orders the arrival of Proximo's fighters and Representative Gracchus, whom he reestablishes and teaches to lead the rebuilding of capacity to the Senate. As Marcus Aurelius expected, Rome will be a republic in the future. Maximus breakdowns and Lucilla hurries to his side. Subsequent to being consoled that her child is protected and Commodus is dead, Maximus passes on and meanders into the great beyond to his home and family somewhere far off. Representative Gracchus and Proximo's fighters complete his body of the Colosseum. That evening, a recently liberated Juba covers Maximus' two little sculptures of his better half and child in the Colosseum, in the fix of Maximus' blood, and says that he also will ultimately go along with them, however not yet.